Rated M for mature.
You wanna know? I can tell you exactly what the fuck I'm gonna get if I type in horror. Yeah. Oh, what a fucking surprise. Look at how many... Good God. PS1, PS1, PS1. How about you fucking I don't know. I'm just looking for something that tickles a very particular fancy that I have in this moment. And it's becoming increasingly difficult to figure out what that is. You know what I could do? You know what I could do? What? What if I do the fucking Jeff the Killer dating sim and I do fucking voices for Jeff the Killer? How much fucking internet brownie points do you think I would lose if I did that? Jeff the Killer feels like the type of character that I could just give a voice like this to, and it would just fit. Like I could just give him a fucking jonkler voice, and it would just be fine. But then again, I watched a video, Jeff the Killer versus Ghostface. Yeah, that it gave him a voice that I felt like fit very very well with like the type of character that like he's supposed to be and is commonly portrayed as. Like he said, like let me tap back into it. I need to hear it again. Jeff the Killer versus Ghostface. Yeah, this. I watched this whole thing in full. Just let me hear his beautiful, sonorous voice again.
Hello, Jeff. I knew you'd show up eventually.
How do you know my name?
How do you know my name? It's just something about that, really.
Oh, I've done some digging. You've been a murderer for over 15 years.
Listen. There's more. Let's not like scratch the surface and then sniff what's on our fingers and then just like leave it at that. We're gonna give it more time.
What's wrong? Does my face scare you?
You're a monster.
I am not a monster. Can we get this started? I really want to see what your insides look like.
That's pretty good. He's highly excitable. He's very cackly. He has a very dorky sounding voice under all the layers of psychopathy. That's a good voice for him. Now, how could I take that and translate it into a Jeff the Killer dating sim? You know what? Fuck it. We're doing it. Nisa complex. Misa think this is not very complex, and I understand it very well, actually. This game contains violence, gore, murder, stalking, abuse, manipulation, and major character death. This game is intended for a mature audience. That means 18 plus. Viewer discretion is advised. Do you only have one note? Is it like Dementium the Ward's soundtrack? Oh, that's the No, there's more. That was just a build-up, and it didn't really give the vibe of one. Oh, his eyes move with my cursor. That's cute. Which way am I going? Can you keep up? Can you keep up? How does that feel on your eyes? You good, bro? You good? Options. I actually kind of fuck with this. This is getting me excited. Just do it. The room was silent, illuminated by the warm midday light filtering through the window. You looked anywhere but at your therapist. You didn't feel comfortable enough to speak freely. Attending these sessions felt like a chore. More than for your own good. It seemed like a way to keep an eye on you. You know you have no obligation to talk about him. The therapist watched you patiently, leaning calmly against the back of his armchair. You can talk about whatever you want. You scoffed ironically, offering no reply. It had been 7 days. Enough time for someone to change, don't you think? Instinctively, you raised your hand to the left side of your face, where a patch covered your left eye. He hurt you. There's no doubt about it. The police, the hospital, everyone has their version. But I want yours. You shrugged. That's fine. Silence is an answer. You looked towards the window. Your reflection's silhouette was visible in the glass. Even though you couldn't see yourself clearly, your posture and expression were noticeably different from a week ago. Downtrodden, I take it. Everything's really sunken into a pit. A pit inside this here. The start of your shift is like your life's start button. And it's also lo-fi beats to fucking... Whoa, wait, this is a huge tone shift. You have a clear routine. Wake up, work, and sleep. You have no legacy, no ambitions, no pending matters. You fulfilled your duties as a student and finished school. What am I, fucking Stanley from the Stanley Parable? But you lack the motivation to pursue a dream or a goal beyond where you are now. It looks like I work at a fucking Blockbuster. Remember when those were a thing? I do, very briefly. I rented a copy of Portal 2. Didn't play it for very long, because that's by design. You feel as if you don't have a starring role in the world because nothing special has happened to you yet. In fact, one could say you let your apathy guide you, or just apathy in general. An apathy that numbs your strong emotions. A roller coaster ride? Pleasant. You trip and fall face first in public? Not the end of the world. Positive or negative, your emotional range was very low. Like a perfect blank canvas. Anyway, you try to make your life as comfortable as possible. As strange as it sounds, you work at a video store that only attracts nostalgics and cinephiles. I like movies. The main reason you took the job is because you like it. You can spend hours watching movies and never get bored. The place is colorful enough to not depress you just by being there, and if you're lucky, you might run into an interesting character or two. Of course, besides the characters that already exist. Hey, first character. First character that I've seen anywhere. Is that a work shirt, but like, as a crop top? Oh, the fucking phone. My gaydar is tingling. Did you roll that up like this? And then like you tucked it in such a way that it stayed like that. So you can just go about your day with like a rolled. That's wow. That's very, very inventive. What is the system there? Do you have like a what did you do? Do you have like a You would need a belt, wouldn't you? How did you do that? Is the circumference of your like hourglass figure like the perfect shape to like did you cling it onto one of your ribs poking out? I mean, you have one on each side. You could do that if you're like thin enough, but I got enough meat on me that's not possible. Anyway, what voice do I give her? I got really sidetracked. I'm corpsing so hard right now. And I haven't even said anything, and it's already happening. Catching up on last time. For a moment, I thought you wouldn't come. Cindy, your coworker. She's not very good at her job, which is saying a lot since being an attendant at a time-lost store doesn't require much effort. But she's the owner's daughter. You're the other full-time employee, and you do well. You two don't get along great, nor terribly. You tolerate each other. Where's your badge? Instinctively, you reached for your neck, and indeed your employee badge was not there. It's strange, but I feel like I can't say your name without your badge. Cindy shrugged and retreated to the back room with a box full of movies. Somehow, what she said made sense. It was as if you couldn't remember your own name unless it was written right in front. Holy meta. As if names only existed if someone else spoke them aloud. Well, you remembered it. You remembered taking it You remembered taking it out of your things when you arrived, so it was most likely still in the store. Oh, I can. Hey, look at that. Counter. You checked behind the counter. Nothing on the floor. Among the shelves full of action movies, your badge was nowhere to be found. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry. I just had a whoopee cushion in my throat. You leaned down to try and get a better look at the floor, hoping your badge was around somewhere. You moved down the small aisle, determined, past shelves packed with horror and thriller movies. It's foreshadowing. It's very, very obvious foreshadowing. Until you spotted the unmistakable piece of plastic almost at the end of the aisle. You were reaching for your badge, but a white hand got there first, slowly picking up the plastic piece. You looked up and found yourself facing a tall, hooded man with his face covered in monstrously deep eye bags. Holy shit. Where do you get down and rest your head, man? Probably just where he's homeless, so yeah. I mean, look at my eye bags. My eye bags, not just these, not just the purple bits. Look at my whole eyes. Do you see? I don't know how much that's picking up, but there have been days where there have been times where my sleep is so bad for such extended periods of time, days throughout weeks, that my eye bags have evolved past the dark circles, and there's now just like a pink, almost reddish ring around my eyes that you can only really see clearly if I open them up fully as I'm doing now. He's probably just wearing makeup. He looked like a potential criminal, or someone with a bad cold. But you didn't have the energy to worry. You straightened up, standing face to face. Or he could just have, like, you know, a terrible skin condition. Maybe he has leprosy. Maybe he has albinism and leprosy at the same time, you don't know. The man seemed to ignore you, more interested in your badge in his hand. Is this yours? His voice. Oh, yeah. His voice, muffled by the fabric, was deep and... Oh, you want me to do deep and slightly raspy? Well, it's my playthrough. You nodded silently, looking at the man suspiciously. By the way, he cocked his head. Now, you can finally visualize your name. Oh yeah, what's my name? Megan. The man looked at the badge in silence, and for a moment you truly thought you might have been wrong after all. But then he offered you the piece of plastic. You took the badge in your hands, giving the guy a look. No look in particular, just a look, you know. Thanks? Thanks, mister? I'm sorry, man. I'm not that old. Sorry, but I have no way of knowing when I can't see your face. Besides, from that skin on your hands, I can tell you're not exactly a young fella. The guy's voice sounded irritated. A part of you said you should be more sweet with customers, but if you managed to annoy him with your chatter, you could consider it an achievement. This guy gave you bad vibes. You silently put the badge around your neck while he remained motionless in his spot. You slowly moved towards the counter. The guy stared at you as you moved, which only made your discomfort worse. Anyway, you decided to ignore him, shifting your attention to one of the monitors next to you. You could, if the hooded guy from before would stop wandering around the store so suspiciously. You tried your best to ignore him, but it was impossible not to notice him. Maybe he was doing it on purpose. Hey, Megan? At the sound of your name, you looked up at Sydney, who had come around the counter to stand next to you. Did you see that guy? He's been here for a long time. You looked where she was subtly pointing, and of course she was talking about the same guy. That guy. The guy over there with the... Yeah, you know. Yeah, I saw him. You shrugged. A very logical reaction, right? Maybe he's deciding what to buy. I mean, look, in that scenario, if you think he's gonna steal something, you could, like, go over there and be like, hey, do you need help finding something? Like, to, you know, just imply, hey, I'm here, what the hell are you doing? To quote Wade from Distractable. He was probably just a weirdo you'd see once. No big deal. Anyway, Cindy, as annoying as she was, wasn't easily frustrated. I couldn't identify what word that was. It's flustered. I thought it was frustrated. It's flustered. It's flustered. That's what she said. Those are the words that came out. Actually, no, not the words. It's one individual word. He's just a weirdo. We see those every day. But this one feels different. You were starting to believe Sydney had watched many movies, but then you remembered she didn't like cinema and only worked in her dad's store because it's her dad's store. When I talked to him, he didn't seem dangerous. Sydney turned to you. Surprised, she actually turned away from me. You talked to him? Did he say anything strange? Not that I can recall. Just gave me back my badge. Why did he have it? I mean, he grabbed it first. Look, it wasn't a big deal. Sydney looked at you in silence for a few seconds, then sighed. If he makes you uncomfortable, I can ask him to... Why? He hasn't done anything wrong, though. He's been a little off-putting, but that's it. I'm not gonna be a Karen for your sake. Sydney shook her head, glancing at the guy. You're probably right. Okay, I'll leave you to it. I'll go check the inventory. Sure. You settled into your designated chair, and before you could pretend to look at receipts, Sydney spoke again. I thought you were going somewhere, bitch. But if he does anything suspicious, let me know, okay? Okay. You nodded slightly. Cindy didn't wait for a verbal response. She just went back to her task. You kept your eyes fixed on the monitor screen for a moment. Out of the corner of your eye, you glanced the aisles, scanning with your peripheral. You can't see a goddamn thing, but you also can at the same time. Such a brilliant design, is it not? And by the way, the guy was still there. Just standing. Yeah, he was looking at a shelf that held nothing particularly interesting. Whatever, he's a Bethesda NPC. Okay, never mind. And then he looked at you. It wasn't a quick or distracted glance. It was direct. He's looking at you now. I'll meet his gaze. What's up, bro? You returned his gaze with the same intensity. The fuck's up, bro? You didn't know if you were doing it out of bravery, stubbornness, or simple curiosity. But he didn't blink. And then he made a slight gesture, an almost imperceptible nod of the head, as if he were greeting you. You decided to ignore him, turning your attention back to the monitor to remove the CD from the player. And no, I'm not gonna... I was gonna pull a fucking disc out of an Xbox 360 case. Well, hey, there's Foley for that, because as you put the CD back in its case, you looked at your options. Oh, buddy. This is gonna come into play later, absolutely. Why else would they give me such a choice? Musical? Oh, that was some fucking rotten, despicable voice crack, holy shit. Musical? Horror? I mean, like, that's the obvious, like, oh, he's a scary guy, he probably likes scary things. He tells people to go to sleep, he stabbed him with big knife, he cut his own lips off. But he's still human. Fucking romance. You feel like seeing how other people's relationships unfold. Maybe a part of you wishes you could live a love story. So you pick a movie and watch it for the rest of your shift. Your workday was over. All in all, it was quiet. Night had fallen, and my back is starting to hurt from shrimps dancing over so I can... Okay, whatever. But there was no reason to worry since you lived a few blocks away. Some things were just convenient like that. This week it was Cindy's turn to close the store. Since you two had almost the same position, you decided that closing duties would be by turns. So you had your things ready to go home.
Are you gonna be okay?
Sure, why wouldn't I be?
Like, I seemed a bit fixated on you.
Come on, me?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Okay, bro. Fuck you.
But what if he follows you?
That's not gonna happen. He left hours ago. There's no way he stayed lurking around here. I'm a horror movie character. I don't pick up on signs.
I don't know. Your danger sensor isn't very accurate, I'd say.
Danger's subjective, Louis. Danger's subjective, Mario!
That's not true.
Why do you care so much? I thought you hated me. Cindy was surprised by your words. She averted her gaze, playing with the mop handle she had in her hands to clean before closing.
I don't hate you, I just think being with you is boring.
Yeah, well, you're not exactly the life of the party.
I don't mean it in a bad way, really. I feel peaceful with you.
Oh.
Your disregard for everything could be tiresome, but it was also comforting in a way.
You scratched your head, not knowing how to react to Cindy's words. She had never said anything nice to you until now. Cindy cleared her throat, looking away with an embarrassed grimace.
What I mean is, I don't want anything bad to happen to you.
You took a step towards her, placed your hand on her shoulder, smiled calmly, and said, "It'll be fine. Just because something weird happens doesn't mean the universe has decided to turn against me, okay?" You shared a final farewell gesture before you closed the door behind you. The store sign indicated it was closed. As you sighed, feeling the weight of adult life in a capitalist world lift a little from your shoulders. Just a little. It was part of the routine, saying goodbye to Sydney and finally going home. You'd lived on your own since you started working, so you had no extra responsibilities to worry about, which gave you space to focus on your own needs. It wasn't an extraordinary life, but it was functional. You worked during the week, earned enough money for rent and bills, and rested on weekends. Even though the street was well lit, the atmosphere remained gloomy as you walked towards your apartment. It looks like a Charizards game, excuse me, by the way. That was fucking wretched. It had always been like this. Nothing to fear, right? Hey. Oh, it's just that guy. Yeah, look. I've known him for years. You turned to react, but felt arms wrapped tightly around your neck, immobilizing you.
You struggled to breathe free, but then you felt the pressure in your stomach. The cold sensation waxed from your stomach. Oh my fucking god.
Your body convulsed after being pierced, and that's when the pain hit. It hurt. It hurt a lot. It was so intense you couldn't feel your limbs. Is this how you were going to die? You knew it would happen eventually, but you didn't know it would hurt so much. Who could have done this to you? Something so cruel. Did you even deserve it? You weren't a saint, but you didn't consider yourself a bad person. The last thought that crossed your mind was that Sydney would have to cover your shift while they looked for a replacement. Wait, what? You didn't get his attention. Oh. Wait, I don't have... I didn't save once. Yeah, I forgot. These games don't tend to have autosaves, do they? Sorry, I'm not very... So I have to catch his attention, huh? I like movies. Alright, so Megan's dead. No more Megan.
5 minutes later.
It's in the back room. I didn't go there before. Maybe you dropped it in the back room, but you only found Cindy looking at her phone next to the boxes she'd taken back. Cindy gave you a quick glance, then went back to ignoring you. You followed her example and focused on finding your badge. Nope, it wasn't there. Alright, we know where it is. So I was nice to him and he didn't care about that. At least not enough. Yeah, is this yours? Yeah, it's mine. Yada yada. Prove it. What's my name this time? Daryl. The man looked at the badge in silence, and for a moment you truly thought you might have been wrong after all. Oh, was it that bad? But then he offered you the piece of plastic. Alright, Daryl.
Self-voicing enabled.
Oh!
Self-voicing disabled.
That scared the shit out of me. That scared me more than anything in this game could have ever. What the fuck? I pressed the V key incidentally. My fat finger went and hit it. You took the badge in your hands, giving the guy a look. Okay, so, let's strike an impression, shall we? I'll mock him. Who are you, the badge security? The man shrugged, unconcerned. I just wanted to make sure I get to the right person. I clearly work here. He chuckled. Yeah, belong to someone else. It literally has my photo printed on it. The man waved it off dismissively. Would you have preferred I give you badge to just any unreformed person who claimed it was theirs? His logic was strangely convincing. I guess not. The man cocked his head with a smirk. A smirk that I couldn't see, but I knew it was there because I see his face flex up. The muscles in his face. You know how those work? They look like this. If you're blind and you can't see, sorry. You couldn't see it through the bandana, but you knew he was... See, that's what I said! See, I'm not so bad. I'm not so bad. I'm not so bad. The fact that you said so made you think the opposite. You silently put the badge around your neck while he remained motionless in his spot. You slowly moved towards the counter. The guy stared at you. You decided to ignore him. Bop.
Hey, Daryl? Did you see that guy? He's been here for a long time.
Yeah, I saw him. Anything strange? I guess. He asked for my name.
Huh? Why?
He picked up my badge, I guess to verify it was mine. Cindy held her chin, thoughtfully. It was a little weird, I guess. Cindy looked at you in silence for a few seconds, then sighed. If he makes you uncomfortable, I can ask him to leave. See, like, what is this like? What is this like? What is this relationship I have with Cindy? What is this relationship she has with me? We're both so obviously fake I don't give a fuckers. Like, we clearly care about each other. Like, either I'm a people pleaser or I have a crush on her. That's where this is going.
You're probably right. Okay, I'll leave you to it. I'll go check the inventory.
Sure, settled in. If he doesn't, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
You kept your eyes fixated on the monitor screen for a moment. Out of the corner of your eye, you saw that he was still there, just standing. He was looking at the shelf, and then he looked at you. It wasn't quick or distracted glance, it was direct. How am I gonna do this? Make another one, yeah. Look away. Yeah, that guy was starting to freak you out. You couldn't face him. It was getting to be too much. You decided to ignore him, turning your attention back to the monitor. No, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right, dude. This isn't fucking right. Yeah, because I get the heart point. You returned his gaze with the same intensity. You didn't know if you were doing it out of bravery, stubbornness, or simple curiosity, yada yada. same thing. He was greeting you. Or there we go. You enjoy the scares and the atmosphere that horror movies create. You were about to pick a movie until the sudden sound of someone leaning on the counter in front of you distracted you. So, again, the stranger was there, this time in front of you, looking intently at the CD in your hands. What are you gonna put on? Excuse me? What are you gonna put on? Is that a crime? No, of course not, but come on, I'm undecided. Maybe you can inspire me. He looked at him in silence for a moment, then sighed with weariness. Oh, this is another really big fucking choice, ain't it? Look at how many fucking options. The obvious choice is gonna be Scream. Oh. Interesting. Well, did that help you decide? The guy cocked his head. And now you knew for sure that his way of now, okay, but let me... The guy cocked his head. Now you knew for sure that his way of showing mockery... Did I read that wrong, or was that an incomplete sentence? So, what my attention was just the counter itself. You raised an eyebrow. Oh yeah, and what about it, big shot? You know, I have a... Hold on. I have a hoodie within arm's reach. I can replicate this voice effect so much easier. Alright, how's this gonna sound? Horror. His tone dropped. Interesting choice. No, it's just something about the person who prefers it. Like what? Aren't you looking to feel something real? What do you want? Fear to have a face? Something you can understand, even if it means danger. His words were soft, but they pricked like needles under your skin. Or maybe I like strong emotions without putting myself at risk like everyone else. But you're not like everyone else. Well, that phrase needs to be removed from the visual novel bingo card. He moved a little closer to the counter. He didn't invade your space, but it was as if he caressed it. You don't seem to be afraid. Should I be? Sometimes. Do you prefer to see horror from the outside? Or have it stare back at you? I'll go with it. Yes, it depends on how pretty the face of horror is. He tilted his head slightly as if you said something he didn't quite expect, but he didn't seem surprised either. Wow. Keep in mind that sometimes pretty things bite too. He glanced at the shelves for a second as if looking for something, but it was obvious he wasn't. By the way, dude, I paid attention enough in agriculture class, botany, plant stuff, whichever one of the plant stuff classes. I know about Venus flytraps. You kind of look like one, by the way. Maybe you like being bitten. He shrugged, as if downplaying his own words. He extended a finger and drew circles on the counter surface, as if... Okay. What I visualize is that either he's just doing that and nothing's happening, except he's making circles with his finger, he's doing donuts. Or, like, this is a nasty, filthy fucking counter. Like, there's grunge pooled all up on this counter. And he is just fucking... He is making openings. You see, that's how I know my mind is adapting to his. He was pretending to think, ignoring you, but very aware of your presence. For your mental sanity's sake, you needed to hurry him up. This is a choice I'm not very confident on. I'll be subtle. You cleared your throat. your hand a clenched fist. Are you gonna pick something?
You're a bit impatient. Huh?
Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to.
I'll extend this plan.
You glanced back, searching for Cindy, just to feel some security that you weren't on your own. But unfortunately, you didn't see her anywhere. Then, without you asking, he reaches. His hand is coming towards you.
Hi, Jeff. I think it's time we formally introduce ourselves. Aren't you, Daryl?
Your gaze dropped to his hand. What's up, bro? Okay, I could be funny as fuck about this. I need to do that. How did my hand feel against yours, by the way, big boy? Oh, he laughed loudly. Jeff laughed loudly, drawing the attention of the few remaining customers in the store. You couldn't help it, but also laugh at your action. Hey, don't exaggerate, they're watching us.
Why? Are you embarrassed for them to see you?
It's not that you're bothering the customers.
Right. I didn't take you for someone who'd easily get embarrassed.
As someone who works in a store, you should convince the customer to buy as much as possible, but something told you Jeff would take his sweet time. You watched him in silence for a few seconds, observing his thoughtful posture. If he was insistent on prolonging the interaction, you were allowed to make him uncomfortable too, right? That's actually a good point. This is also a big choice. This is also one that's like, oh yeah, if I say the wrong thing here, he's gonna kill me later. What's up with the bandana?
Why do you want to know?
Curiosity.
I have scars. They're not pleasant to see.
Looks like you touched a nerve. Well, did you decide what to get? Jeff refocused his attention on you.
Well, seems like you really want to get rid of me.
It's not that. If you need help, I'm here to assist. He tilted his head slightly, but this time not with mockery, but rather boredom. His fingers stopped drumming, now still on the counter surface.
Alright. Customer service protocol.
The mockery was still there, but his eyes no longer sparkled with the same intensity. For a second, it almost seemed like he was going to say something more, but he let out a discreet sigh.
Anyway, I don't think I'll be taking anything.
Great, all that for nothing.
I wish it had been a pleasure to meet you, Daryl, but I'm not so sure.
Jeff straightened up from the counter, patting it. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. You didn't hold back and matched his low energy. Jeff waved his hand dismissively and left. Finally, this guy was getting on your nerves with all his questions and comments. Let me roll that back. Let me roll that back. I ain't taking that. Let me roll that back. Single, big boy? Jeff stumbled in place, turning his gaze to you. He remained silent for a few seconds, recovering from the initial surprise, then tilted his head with a teasing touch.
What if I'm not?
Oh, well, I mean, this is a dating simulator. This is a simulator, dude. This is a dating assimilation game. You don't date, you die. I wouldn't mind sharing. I wonder. The thought just returned to me. What are the other customers? The other customers in the store are overhearing this, and you could tell that like someone would be like holding their phone out, like, "Yo, this is fucking insane." This would be on TikTok. There would be a caption over it. It would get reposted with another caption over that caption, and so on and so forth. People would never shut up about this shit if this happened in real life. This would be like the same type of shit as like that one fucking chud at the doorbell that said he was Harry Dresden, motherfucker. But like cute and romantic instead of just like, wow. You rested your chin on your hand, raising your eyebrows playfully. Jeff cleared his throat against his bandana, hiding what you suspected was a chuckle. At least you made him laugh. Well, did you decide what to get? Jeffrey focused his attention on you. Well, it is the same thing. It's not that. If you need help, I'm here to assist. Am I supposed to be sarcastic? Is that what he wants? This is the same thing. I gotta go back.
2 very boring minutes later.
Yeah, I'm save scumming the shit out of this. No better way to play. No, not at all. I love wasting time with weirdos who walk in circles as if they're lost in the supermarket. Jeff's eyes widened, feigning offense. No, hold on. I need to fucking figure this out. It's like making a new shape that humankind doesn't know as it's like resting on my neck. Hey, that was me. You're gonna make me cry. He clutched his chest dramatically, then chuckled again. This time his laugh was softer, more genuine. I don't know if this was funny because I talked to you or because I really did that. The statement came out with unsettling frankness. Oh, I was It's always like mildly disheartening when I read a line and then like immediately after the next dialogue says, no, he actually said it like this. You didn't know how to react, but you knew that in the end Jeff has done things on purpose. Well, at least you admit you weren't exactly a delight. Sure, I'm not an idiot. I know what kind of reaction I get from people. Jeff shrugged, then tilted his head, questioning and mocking. Do you treat all customers like this? Or am I special? He couldn't help but let out a small laugh at his words. You know what? I don't usually spend so much energy on strangers, but you earned it. Jeff straightened up, suddenly pleased as if he'd been told he achieved a great feat. I'll take it. I'll take it. For a moment, you thought Jeff meant he appreciated your words until you noticed his eyes were fixated on the movie you had chosen and put into the player. Oh, great. You said with relief. Finally, Jeff would take something. And it was something you knew he liked. You felt good about doing your job well, after all. Thanks for shopping with us. Jeff nodded, taking the movie in its bag and headed for the exit. It was a pleasure, Terrell. He waved goodbye, and you reciprocated with your own hand, though not as enthusiastically as his. Well, you managed to sell something to the weirdo of the day. It was an accomplishment, after all. Your workday was over. All in all, it was quiet. Night had fallen, but there was no reason to worry, since you lived a few...
Are you gonna be okay?
Sure, why wouldn't I be? They seemed a bit fixated on you, you scoffed ironically. Yeah, this dialogue is the same, that's interesting. Now the line of danger is subjective makes more sense. I mean, it makes sense either way, but here it makes significantly more sense. Just wait until you hear the footsteps behind me. It was then you felt your arm being pulled violently to one side. Maybe you should have been more alert. You were dragged into an alley beside the street. It was slightly darker, but a streetlight nearby allowed you to distinguish what was in front of you. Since the sudden action disorientated you, you were slow to react. The fuck? The sound of a slight blow to the side of your head interrupted you, and you realized the person had cornered you against the brick wall behind you. And also hit you in the head. You glanced at the person's arm, a familiar white sleeve covering an arm reaching from your blind spot. You grew tired of the suspense and finally looked up at the person. You had an idea who it might be. Hey, what's good, cat teeth? You got a tongue like that too? Are you an exotic creature? As if that's a question. Darryl, will you meet again? Uncertainty filled you at the sight of a white, scarred face. Jeff had removed his hood and bandana, revealing it. His skin varied in color and texture. His nose was sunken. His milky blue eyes were deep-set in dark circles, and you were certain you hadn't seen him blink once. But what caught your attention most was the scar that ran across his mouth. It didn't look like a clean cut, and the way it distorted his expression sent a shiver down your spine. You assumed his face would have imperfections he'd want to hide to avoid stares from strangers, but considering the bizarre situation, it wasn't surprising. Jeff? Certainly, you were at a disadvantage here, so you tried to think of ways to turn the tables. Oh, who would have thought at night, someone alone, gloomy alley, a classic. Jeff chuckled at your sarcasm. You don't drop the act, huh? Now, why am I still doing the cloth? Then he pulled a knife from his hoodie pocket. Now, make sure you give me a good show. His voice. No, I can't. I'm too hydrated to do that. His voice, raspy, accelerated with an anxious tone. He seemed impatient. A show. It's exquisite, he whispered.
Feels exquisite!
He whispered almost unnecessarily poetically, leaning towards you, his breath grazing your face. It probably smells like shit.
Wait.
You know, I do have a question. When's the last time you brushed your teeth?
Hey, no offense, but your whole approach feels very cliche.
Jeff tilted his head to the side. You would have sworn it was his equivalent of raising an eyebrow, because he doesn't have those.
This isn't the time for jokes, don't you think? Yeah, well, I really don't know what motivated you to attack me. I thought we were getting along.
Jeff pressed the width of the blade against your cheek, the cold metal against your warm skin.
Are you asking what makes you special? Is being special having you drag me into a dark alley? Why? You must not be very popular.
Jeff snorted in annoyance. He grabbed your shoulder with the hand that cornered you and slammed you against the wall behind you, Susie Deltarune style. You felt your head hit the rough texture of the hard surface, making you wince.
I'm gonna be a facetious performative dick even in the face of death continuously. Angel Dust has been hotel. Just play the clip.
Oh, harder, Daddy!
Jeff released you and stepped back a couple of paces as you burned him. His expression reflected surprise, and it was a bigger reaction than you expected.
Nice piercings, boy modder. Relax, I'm just kidding. It's fine.
That wasn't funny.
It was to me.
Shut up. It shouldn't be funny. You should be afraid. Jeff approached again, raising the knife to your neck. Instinctively, you pulled away from the blade, feeling the tip pierce your chin. You're in an alley at night with a knife in your throat. So I'll ask you again. Where's your friend?
Nah. Fuck, Jeff. You didn't feel like dealing with a sadistic madman. Keep participating.
Jeff's smile fell subtly.
Oh, so there's others.
A sharp, intense pain that branched from your stomach to your fingertips invaded you, taking your breath away. Your voice caught in your throat. Jeff's uncontrolled laughter was the only thing you heard. It truly sounded like he was having fun. You kept on your feet with his hand on your shoulder, but you felt him let go. You inevitably fell to the ground, feeling cold. Very cold. Your limbs felt heavy, and you could not open your eyes no matter how hard you tried. And you died.
No, I didn't. Watch this.
Huzzah!
Okay, so, you want me to be afraid?
Jeff hadn't made much of an impression on you. You were aware your situation was dangerous, but it really couldn't matter less to you. But anyway, it seemed fun to see what would happen if you messed with him. You know, I do enjoy the idea of my character, like, being completely unfazed by absolutely everything that happens. Like, some literal Leon Kennedy shit. Like, imagine, like dropping -2s in the face of death, and someone who looks like this. For now, you decided to play along. You know what? Yeah, I'm afraid. Jeff recovered his spirits, extending his wide smile. He lowered the knife, but kept it in his hands. He wasn't threatening you. Maybe he wanted to keep having fun with you.
Good, good. That's what I wanted to hear.
Typical.
Now, what scares you about me?
Is that supposed to say what about me scares you most? Evidently, Jeff enjoyed seeing fear in his victims. For now, you managed to keep him happy enough to maintain a conversation with you. But maybe he wanted to dig deeper into your flesh with his knife. Perhaps he liked knowing in detail what provoked his victims, and perhaps he also liked knowing in detail what was inside his victims. That's funny. Can you accept the challenge of indulging him? Potentially. With enough reloads. His voice?
Huh? Nobody ever said that before.
Sound young. How old are you? Jeff was startled by the emotion.
You think?
And he competitively ignored your question. Completely? Completely. I think competitively does make more sense, though. Maybe he was one of those who didn't... Maybe he was one of those who didn't look like their age.
This is more fun than I thought it would be.
Anyway, why are you attacking me? Jeff stared at you in silence for a few seconds, his smile static. You felt like demanding he blink.
Blink, motherfucker!
Killing you will be fun. I really want to see what your insides look like.
Great. You had hoped he was just a simple thief going through an angsty teenage phase and only wanted to scare you, but it turns out he was a madman who genuinely intended to pronounce this sentence right, and that being that he's going to murder you. You hit the jackpot! Hey, 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 hey! I thought I had won your heart.
Oh, that takes a lot more than just one.
Why am I doing lips? He doesn't have those.
Oh, it takes a lot more than just one day.
That seemed like useful information. But for the future, you should focus on surviving now.
I know. Let's play a game.
Play what?
A simple chance tag.
What happens if I win?
I'll let you go. That's what you'd like me to say.
He was an idiot. A very dangerous idiot. You had to choose carefully. I chase you? What? You know what? I'm curious. Jeff stumbled over his words, not having expected that response. I did not expect that to work at all. I entirely thought that he was just gonna stab me. Jeff straightened up over you, analyzing you in silence. His face was strangely expressionless. You assumed because with his mouth mangled as it was, he was condemned to have the same look permanently. Suddenly you felt your neck squeezed tightly, making it hard to breathe. Instinctively, you raised your hands and pulled at Jeff's arm, an impulse from your body to try and fight.
Sure. Yeah.
The complaint sounded almost childish despite coming from a threatening man. You tried to respond, anything, but your vocal cords were being squeezed. You managed to hear his murmur before you felt the pressure on your neck release.
face. His hand remained on your neck, but only pressed enough to immobilize you. You coughed and gasped for air, trying to recover your breath. But then you realized that Jeff was again almost on top of you with a knife in his hand. You felt a pang of pain in your cheek, but it was for only an instant. Jeff made a clean cut on the skin of your left cheek. You felt the tickle of the thin line of blood running down your jaw.
Why aren't you afraid?
Jeff examined you in silence, as if looking at your reaction would give him a satisfying answer. It wasn't as if you didn't really feel anything. You recognized the situation was dangerous. You feel the open incision on your cheek and the blood running down it. Your body knew from the strong pounding of your heart, but as it had been from the start, you didn't care. He wanted you to fear him, but since he was threatening your life and you didn't care, consequently, you didn't fear. Consequently, you didn't fear him. You looked him directly in the eyes.
So much trauma. So much trauma. For this?
Jeff's mouth twisted.
He's just a generic killer stalking your victim and taking them into an alley. If you wanted to make a better impression, you could be more original.
Suddenly, Jeff's extended mouth quirked up. A strange sight.
It's hard to see.
Jeff plunged the knife below your ribs, taking your breath away. He leaned over your ear.
You're a fighter, aren't you?
Blood rose in your throat, choking you. Well, it seems as if he interpreted your defiance as a way to fight for your life. Oh, I can just go back.
A few moments later.
You lowered your gaze, but not out of fear. Rather out of weariness. What would you leave behind if you died? Not much, so you don't care anymore.
I'm sorry, Jeff, but I don't have fear to give you. No, wait. I'm sorry, Jeff, but I don't have fear to give you.
He closed his mouth? What the fuck? What do you mean you have lips, you dumb motherfucker? Jeff remained silent for a second until you noticed his smile subtly widen. He slowly leaned towards you and licked your wounded cheek, wiping away the line of blood. His breath brushed against your skin, warm and damp. The touch of his tongue burned on the wound, making you hiss. You could accept him licking you, he was just being weird. But you couldn't shake off what he wanted to tell you with that action.
Lick me? How romantic. I'm melting.
Maybe if you tease him enough, he'll leave you alone. You had to try. Jeff growled through gritted teeth, slamming you against the wall again. I imagine it sounds like the fucking newspaper zombie from PBZ. You let out a groan of pain from the impact.
Don't you hear me?
I don't know what you want me to say, man.
Jeff lowered his head, seemingly disappointed. You glanced around hesitantly, not knowing what to do, but then he straightened up again, his smile so wide his lips were taut. What lips? What lips? He removed them from his body. What lips? Did new ones grow in? Did he get his baby lips removed and his adult lips grew in?
There's nothing I can do if you don't hear that. I can make you hear you.
He raised the knife again, but not to stab you in a vital spot. Instead, he slowly brought the tip to your face, level with your left eye.
So I'll do us there, huh?
You swallowed hard at the distorted vision of the knife tip millimeters from your pupil.
I'm gonna hunt you. Every time I kiss you, I'll hurt you. And every time you hurt me, I'll hurt you a little.
Jeff's eyes trembled. almost white, like two spotlights in the dark.
Wait.
You'll ask the restaurant, Jeff dictated, pushing his hand forward. The blade dug into the corner of your eye, almost grazing your eyelid.
I kinda need that, though.
You screamed with all your might until you felt your throat tear. Your blood flowed like a waterfall with your sudden body shake. It splattered. Jeff laughed, satisfied with your reaction, and pushed the blade deeper, bearing it into the soft flesh of your eyeball. You choked on your own saliva, on the verge of vomiting from the unbearable pain. Your hands flailed at Jeff's chest, but you didn't move him an inch. Jeff violently shook the knife.
Okay, dude. And what? You want me to fuck this guy?
He shook the knife a little more and pulled, managing to yank out your eyeball, still connected by vein. What's happening? Is anyone there? Like heavenly bells, you managed to hear the voices of other people coming from nearby, but you no longer had the strength to stand. You collapsed to the ground, your left eye socket bleeding from the raw wound. Your vision was blurry and damaged. There was no way to trust what you saw. You could only focus on what you heard. Again, Daryl.
It's good that I made my name Daryl, because you can pronounce that perfectly without lips.
You managed to feel the footsteps of several people heading your way, so you surrendered to exhaustion.
I must admit it makes me chuckle every time.